Happy to have. Let's see. There we go. Don Pannell with
There I
some
am.
riveting radio real estate. Good morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
We have had some great conversations on the air about some homes that are being listed and up for sale. You got another one for me?
I do, and it's been really, really gratifying that everything that we've done this for has had increased interest. So
well, if you
it's
watch,
a good thing.
It is a good thing. It means it's working.
It's working.
If you're watching the show this morning on iFiber1newsradio.com or later in the day when we post it, I've got the rotating photo gallery going on right now of this new home. Where is this place?
It's up in Lake Cushman.
Okay.
So it's a little Lake Cushman cabin. It's actually a double wide, small, only about 8 or 900 square feet, but just cute as a button. They've really done a good job fixing it up inside. You would never know that you were in a manufactured home when you're inside. They've put some really nice finishes on the walls, and they've got one of those really cool sliding barn doors in the bedroom.
Those are cool.
Those are cool. Yeah, and it's a deck all the way around it, and then it's got this massive shop.
I'm looking at some of the pictures of it right now. It's big.
It's big. It's twice the size of the house. So
Whoa.
if you're into having a drive-through garage area and shop area, he's even got a little office upstairs. It's got a complete second floor that could be finished off, and he's got a finished office up there already with a window that looks out over the driveway, and then the whole lower part has all kinds of hydraulic lifts and all kinds of neat stuff. So anybody who's into shop type things, this is a good place for you.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Lake Cushman is, for those who don't know, is a leased land development. So
Okay.
you don't actually own the land. So you pay a monthly lease payment. So and that adds up to the lease payment. I believe I think I have that on that sheet. I forgot what it is right off the top of my head. But you pay a land lease, and you pay a HOA fee, and then you pay a maintenance fee.
Looks like about $160 a year for the lease,
Right.
$92 a quarter for water, and near $400 a year for maintenance.
Right,
Okay.
right. So those are your costs for living there. But this place is literally 2 minutes from the golf course, couple minutes from the boat launch, which all is included in your dues, and then 5 minutes to Hoodsport. So pretty centrally located, but all kinds of trees around, and just very peaceful setting. So if you get a chance, take a look at it, and I'd love to sell it.
I like it.
It's very
nice.
cute. It's just a very, very cute place. So again, take a look.
Check those pictures out as well.
Check those pictures out, yeah. And again, a lot of people shy away from Lake Cushman because of the leased land, but it's got a 99-year lease, and I think it's got like 60 years left on it. So
I mean, what could happen?
Right.
60 years from now.
Well, and even after 99 years, I chances are they're going to renew the lease.
Yeah.
They're not going to make everybody tear their house down.
No, I can't imagine they would.
Yeah. So it people tend to shy away from it, but I really don't think that's good to do. I mean, it's a great location. I mean, you're literally minutes from hiking, boating, diving, wine tasting. Everything is right there. So it's a great location.
Right.
So
last week we talked about some things, and we need to move on to the seller's side. Is that right? Or the buyer's side? That's
Buyer's
right.
side.
Last time we talked about the seller's side.
Last time we talked about the seller's closing costs and what they could anticipate. And just a good rule of thumb again for the seller is about 10% by the time you add everything in that the seller pays. And I usually tell the buyer to plan on 3%, but then there's a big variation in that depending on what their lender says, because the majority of the buyer's closing costs are going to be lender generated. So of course, if you're paying cash, you don't incur any of those things. So if you're paying cash, the only cost that you are for sure going to run into is you have to pay half of the escrow fee, which on a $200,000 sale amounts to $586.
Okay.
So that's the only locked in cost that you would have if you're paying cash. If you're financing, then you've got other things like if you're not putting 20% down, you have to pay they call it mortgage insurance.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That you have to pay. That's an additional title policy that names the lender as a beneficiary on the title. So the buyer has to pay for that. The seller, we talked about last time, has to pay a title policy for the buyer, but the buyer would have to pay for any additional coverage that's needed because their lender requires it because they're not putting enough down.
Okay.
So, and that kicks in usually for most lenders if you're paying less than 20%.
And that's the PMI. They
PMI.
say? Okay.
Right. So, and then some of the other costs are appraisal fees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to need to get an appraisal for your lender. Again, if you're paying cash, you don't need an appraisal. You can get one if you want one, but you don't have to have one. But a lender is going to require that. So that can run about $450. You're going to have an inspection fee, and that's something we always recommend, even if you're paying cash, to have a licensed home inspector take a look at the place and make sure that it's not going to fall apart on you or something like that. So that's money well spent, and that can run anywhere from $350 up to $500 or $600, depending on what you include. It's usually a little bit higher if you include a pest inspection, and there are home inspectors who can do pest inspections as well.
Okay.
So, and then if you need a foundation certification, those kinds of things. So those costs can be added up in there.
Would you encourage someone to get an inspection just in the middle of their home owning experience, or just before you're thinking about selling?
You know, not a bad idea.
I've thought about it to see how the house is holding up.
Right, because you get a whole long list and it could be minor things that you could just fix and increase the value of your house dramatically.
Maybe stop something in its tracks before.
Exactly. Yeah, and so not a bad idea.
There's nothing. You can do that. There's nothing.
Absolutely.
That says you can't.
Okay. No, absolutely not. And I've had some sellers who have done that, and so then when they put it on the market, they can say, okay, we've done a home inspection, and these are the things that we've found. We can either choose to address them, or we adjust the price accordingly. So, and you can even a seller can even get an appraisal, an actual full blown appraisal. You know, if they want to pay that cost. And when that makes sense is if you have a really, really high-end home and the comps of what's selling in this area aren't going to justify the price that you want. So if you pay for an appraisal and the appraisal comes back with the price that you want, then you can advertise that.
Show that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I can see that. You see like one house out of a neighborhood.
Right. Exactly.
Seems way better than the rest.
Right.
Okay.
Appraisers, though, are going to look at comparable sales as well, so you have to be a little bit cautious about that. But at least you could say to the prospective buyer that, hey, you don't have to worry about, you know, whether this is going to appraise for what we're asking for, because we've already had it appraised, and it has to be recent, obviously.
Yeah.
Within a couple of months, pretty much, because a lot can change. But at least you can have that ammunition in the background. So
very nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then the only other thing, and then if you add in the appraisals and all that other costs and that kind of thing on a $200,000 home, outside of any other fees that your lender is going to ask you to pay, you're going to look at paying about right around $2,000, $2,100, $2,200 thereabouts. So it's not quite up to the 3% that I tell people, but then again, there are going to be other loan origination costs and those kinds of things that your lender is going to require.
So it could get to that 3%.
It could get to that. So just to be on the safe side, plan on 3%, and then if you're happily surprised at the end, that's a good thing.
I'm going to put these pictures up of this house one more time. And where can people find this, and how can people get a hold of you?
They can find it on the John L. Scott website or any of the other search websites that they like, Zillow or Redfin. We show up on all of those. And they can reach me at 360-490-4493, or they can stop in at the corner of 3rd and Railroad at the John L. Scott office, and they will know where to find me.
Dawn, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
I always learn a lot talking with you about these things, and I love looking at houses.
It's fun.
It's fun to do.
I spent all day yesterday out looking at houses. It was a kick.
What's going on with the weather? Does that help or hurt?
Pouring down rain doesn't help.
No, I can't imagine.
But yeah, but luckily yesterday we had pretty good weather, so it was great.
Okay.
It was great. It was
Good.
fun.
Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll check back in.
Great. Thanks, Jeff.